Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. It's Courtney from the Office of Student Involvement. I am joined this morning with Patricia and Kiana from Housing and Res Ed, respectively. Patricia, Kiana, how you doing today?
Doing well.
Doing good. Happy Thursday.
Yeah, this 100, I think there's like 105 heat index that's planned for later today. So just another crazy weather pattern in Chicago. I think next week we're back finally down to more normal temperatures again.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Well, and especially with all the students who just moved in yesterday, I think they probably are looking forward to a cool down a whole lot too.
Oh, yes.
We sure hope so. It wasn't easy, I would say. Our director, Rick of Housing, and I, you may or may not have seen us running around campus with a big cart, and we really put up a sweat.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So thanks for joining us this morning. So Housing and Res Ed are the kickoff to our Get to Know DePaul series. So really to get us started here, how about we start, if you wouldn't mind taking a minute to just give us an introduction of who you are. So who you are, why you came to DePaul, and really how long you've been here.
Yeah.
Oh, Kiana, why don't you go first?
Sure. Well, hello, everyone. Again, my name is Kiana Stone. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. And I serve as one of two associate directors within the Department of Residential Education. I've been at DePaul going on 5 years now. So it's a pretty exciting time. I know, yay, my work anniversary is coming up in October. So it's been great. What brought me to DePaul? I would say the same thing that brings a lot of people. Is definitely the mission, and marrying what my passion and values with my work is something that's always been important to me. Working with students, helping them transition through becoming adults, and being a part of that experience of journey as they have left their families to set out to define who they are in the world and who they want to be. And a lot of that happens outside of the classroom within the residence halls. And so it's been great to do that and be a part of the experience and help them answer the question about what must be done.
All right. And I'm Patricia Nicandro. I am the Marketing and Communications Manager for DePaul Housing. I've only been in my role for 6 months and 4 days, I would say. So I started just before the pandemic hit. So I do have lots of experience as it comes to communication. So I've done in-house communication for local government, including emergency communication. So that kind of came in handy during this COVID-19 period. I worked a little bit during swine flu, if anyone remembers that time. Mm-hmm. And then fast forward. Oh, yeah, right? Oh, my God.
That was nothing compared to this.
Oh, definitely. It was a blip. And during that time, you guys, Twitter was just starting to become used for emergency communication. So a little bit was part of my job there when I lived in San Jose, California. And then flash forward a decade plus later, doing consumer marketing with food service for the last 3 years, and then hopped on to DePaul Housing, which also takes care of dining. And the reason I'm with DePaul is that I, too, am a very proud Blue Demon class of 2013. I graduated with a master's in public relations and advertising. So big shout out to everyone in the PRAD program. Love you guys.
Yeah. Well, welcome home. It's been an eventful 6 months for coming back to DePaul, I have to imagine.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. None that I think anyone would have anticipated ever.
Yeah. So one of the things that we're doing in this series, obviously, is we want to get to know you, but we also want to give students the opportunity to get to know your department. So Kiana, how about you start us off and tell us a little bit about Res Ed?
Sure. So Res Ed works hand in hand with housing services. Oftentimes, the first introduction to consideration of living on campus starts with housing. Housing handles the billing, the assignments, answering the questions about what's the best meal plan option, giving all of that information. But once they move in and they say their goodbyes to their families, they say hello to us. We have a number of staff ready to help them get transitioned to make living on campus their home away from home. We have 5 master's level professionals. Their titles are resident directors, that live in the residence halls, along with supervising our resident advisors, RAs for short. Our RAs are some of our upper class student leaders who have either previously lived on campus or off campus. So there's some opportunities out there for those interested in student leadership. And so they live amongst the students. We're responsible for the safety and security. We provide 24/7 support. We have staff on call every day, all day, to be able to support our students. And our staff provides a number of different opportunities for them to get involved by way of a number of programs. And so whether they be social programs or educational programs, so that they can make connections while living inside of the residence hall.
Yeah, that's great. I know I didn't go to DePaul, but the undergraduate experience that I had the opportunity to live on campus for a couple of years, and it really is very critical, and you get to, because you're both living with these people, for a lot of our students for the first time, it's not their family. Like, this is the first time they're living with people outside their, perhaps the house or apartment or wherever they lived growing up. So now they're coming to this brand new environment. And I know Res Ed does a ton of work to make sure that they feel at home, they feel that sense of belonging. So thanks for sharing. How about, Patricia, you tell us a little bit about what housing does?
Well, let's see. It's basically what Kiana said in terms of our partnership, but I would say that I think two P's in my mind, it's place and people, I think, for us. So I think with Res Ed, definitely more of the people aspect, housing too, but I think we're here as more of, I would say, a home partner, a facilities partner. So we take care of everything of getting you settled into the dorms or your apartments. So we have a move in and move out process, which we have very, very thorough steps in terms of getting you here. I know it was a little bit more complicated this year. I wasn't here last year, so I can't really compare, but I would imagine that.
Hey, you all have a well-oiled machine over there, getting them in, getting them out. Even in a time of our reduced capacity, it's well-oiled machine that keeps moving.
Oh, Courtney, I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you. And I know that it probably wasn't the easiest experience for some, but for the most part, the feedback that we received from students and parents, it was just very thoughtful, and we're thankful to everybody during that entire time. Wouldn't you say, Kiana?
Absolutely, because it's a memorable moment. I talked to a lot of the parents during orientation, and we always talk about, that day we know we're going to see a wealth of emotions, but our team will be there to give. This year it was virtual hugs, high fives, air hugs from a distance, because we know that what that means as far as that transition. And it's a special day, and it's sometimes often a hot day like yesterday. And so we know how that is so important to make sure that there's some friendly faces and to be there to answer some questions. And so housing definitely, and we work in tandem together to make sure that is a process that is very smooth. So that's the last thing that could be a worry on a family member's mind as they're dropping off their student.
Mm-hmm. And I completely agree with that. And after you've dropped off your student, we're here to help support. So I know for Res Ed, it's more of the people connections. For us, we can help you with anything from a broken light bulb in the hallway over to perhaps something is going on in your bathroom that you need help with. So things like that. We can also help outline the do's and don'ts of living on campus as well. So we have everything from visitor policies, prohibited items policies, all of that. So it spans a wealth of topics. And if you have any questions, then just email either one of our groups.
Yeah, that's great. Patricia, I think before you were showing me a little bit of content that you wanted to share as well. Do you still want to share some of those slides with our viewers today?
Absolutely. So I'll go right on ahead, and I'm going to go full screen. And I hope you're all seeing it, because I do not have two screens like I normally would on campus. So are we good, Courtney?
Yep, you're all set. Go for it.
Okay, so welcome home. At DePaul Housing, we oversee the process of living here at DePaul, from moving into your unit to facilities assistance in your building, like that broken light bulb that I had mentioned earlier, if you happen to have one. Our department is here to get you settled in and support you in any way we can, which includes navigating this complex thing called COVID-19. So in addition to wearing a face covering around campus and properly social distancing, here are the top 5 things housing wants every resident to know and remember. So number 1, please keep it clean. Housing is providing each resident a bottle of cleaning and disinfecting solution. Please follow cleaning instructions properly to make sure surfaces are properly disinfected in your areas, including the bathroom. So at the end of your quarantine, if you happen to run out, just refill your bottle in your area office. So number 2, the new visitor policy. So whether you're in quarantine or not in quarantine, we are not allowing visitors in your building until further notice. We don't mean to be Debbie Downers, but we need to minimize exposure as much as we can for your safety and the safety of others in your building. Number 3, and I find that this one is key. So please take care of yourself. If you're experiencing COVID-19 symptoms or discover that you've been in close contact with someone who has COVID-19, call public safety. Public safety will contact a member of the Res Ed staff who will be in contact with you in a short period of time. Also, if you're experiencing emotional stress or dealing with anxiety, contact University Counseling Services to make an appointment. And you can find their numbers under the University Resources section of your move-in guide, or you can search public safety or university counseling on DePaul.edu. There are numbers there specifically for both the Lincoln Park campus as well as the Loop campus. So for any University Center folks, if there happen to be anyone. Number 4, check your email. So as expected, more communications will be sent digitally to avoid any cross-contamination. So we strongly encourage you to check your inbox regularly for emails from housing as well as Res Ed, which may include housing news related to COVID-19, dining information, maintenance updates, and more. And number 5, know your resident resources. So here are some that I think you should bookmark, download, and follow. Obviously, you'll want to bookmark the housing website. Lots of important information here, from details about fall quarter. So we have a fall quarter FAQs page, to approved and prohibited items that you may have it or may not have in your unit. And then next, some recommendations for mobile apps. So I know everyone's had to download the Campus Clear app. So I'm recommending that you also download the Boost mobile app onto your smartphone. So after quarantine, you can order food through the Boost app to order and pick up food in the student center. Just search Boost mobile food ordering if you're looking at Apple or if you have an Android. So search that in your applications there. And then lastly, follow us all on social media, especially Instagram. So addition to DePaul U and DePaul Housing, highly recommend following our other campus partners like Res Ed, of course, student involvement, yes, campus recreation, I would also say health promotion and wellness. And those are the main ones. And then last but not least, our wonderful contact information over at DePaul Housing. So feel free to take a screenshot of this page. We're typically located over at Centennial Hall, Suite 301, but with limited hours just due to the way things are right now. But the easiest way to reach us, housing at DePaul.edu, or use the live chat feature on our housing website. And that's the end of my presentation there, Courtney.
Yeah, thanks, Patricia. I know that housing or the chat bot that you all have on your website is super helpful. Yeah. It's staffed throughout the day. People can get a really quick response to it. I know even I've had some questions that students have asked me about housing and different things on campus, and it's been really helpful and convenient to just be able to go there and get an instantaneous response. So that's been a great addition and a great feature added on.
Perfect. I'm glad to hear it. Thanks, Courtney.
Yeah. So I know you all, I mean, obviously you are a very student facing office, right? You or departments. You all have a lot of different opportunities for interaction. So I know, Kiana, you talked a little bit about some of the student leadership parts, but I'm curious maybe if, one or both of you could expand on opportunities for, student leadership, but just also general student engagement. Kiana, I know you touched on a little bit about some of the programs, but yeah, just for those listening, what else they can look out for from housing and res ed. And Kiana, you want to start us off? You're muted. The ever famous you're muted on Zoom, right?
The ever
We have it
famous,
happen at
right?
least once a day.
I know. And I'm usually good about it, but I wanted to make sure
Yeah.
Patricia had center stage. So I was really excited about her presentation. So Res Ed's very intentional about connecting students. And one of the main reasons students want to live on campus is that they want to meet other students. And so, that is some of the joys of college. And so, and the on-campus experience living in the residence halls. And so our staff is very intentional about creating programs and opportunities so students can connect with other students, so they can have that college long or sometimes what will become lifelong friendships. And so that sometimes happens by attending a program, whether it's a movie night to, a social or an educational program. Maybe it's about laundry 101 and how to make sure I'm using the machines correctly and that all my clothes come back being the same color that they are. Or it's, speed friending. So we do a number of different programs, and those are all facilitated by our RAs. And if students also have ideas for things that they want to see happen, they can suggest those to their RAs and we'll make it happen. So that's one of the ways that students can kind of get involved and get connected. One of the student organizations that we sponsor is our Residence Hall Council. And so Residence Hall Council for folks is the way I describe it. Think about in high school, you had student government or student council. And so this is a group of leaders that are the representative voice for students living in the residence halls. The RHC for short, because we use a lot of acronyms in college. So Residence Hall Council, RHC, provides these leadership opportunities. Students can apply for positions to serve as student senators, where they are the representatives for each of their residence halls. And RHC puts on a lot of large scale programs. Anytime there's any important decisions affecting students that live in the residence halls, that information is presented to REC so they can weigh in on their experience, and then also provide that feedback to both housing and residential education about how to make the student experience better. And they do a lot of cool events. And so in the next few weeks, they'll be marketing out of how to get involved, because as we know, we are all making changes. And so REC is also making changes and pivoting to a more virtual and socially distant experience. And so we're working with our president, Lily Loudon. And so she'll be sending out information soon about how students can sign up to get involved in REC if they want a leadership role, or just know about when are the meetings happening and how I can get involved and show up. One of the other opportunities that students have to get involved and take more of a paid leadership experience is serving as a resident advisor. Resident advisors, as I shared earlier, are our upper class student leaders that live on the floor, and they get a wealth of experience. And so in terms of not only doing the programs, but serving as a mentor, a resource for students, because they've already had a year or more on campus. So they know the lay of the land. They know all the 411, all of the cool places to go, whether that's in Lincoln Park or in the city of Chicago, and how to get the best bang for your buck when it comes to being a student at DePaul. And so we start that recruitment process mid fall quarter. And so right around October, you can be on the lookout for what is the timeline for that interview process. For one of the first things is that we offer a series of informational sessions. And so students can sign up, attend the informational session, and then we launch the actual application process through the Office of Student Employment online. And so they'll be able to apply, answer the application questions, submit their resume, which you can get a head start on that working with career services. So you can get that shaped up because we know that especially our first year students can apply, because we know that they may not have a lot of experience already on campus, but they have a lot of high school experience. And so that a student career services can help them kind of formulate that so that can fit into how that their experience translates into being an RA. So those are the two off the bat that I want to share. RHC and RAs for us are how students can get plugged in right away.
Yeah, that's great. You know, Ken, I heard a rumor on the street too that especially for our students in quarantine right now, I think they're using Teams for communication and as a channel for engagement. Can you talk about that a little bit too?
Absolutely. So, and I just sent the email to our early arrivals this morning. I got to meet all of them and see their faces. We talked a lot about some really great music and what folks are listening to. So I got a lineup of new artists to download onto my Apple Music. But so on Teams, we have, they need to download the app. So for Microsoft Teams, I just emailed that population this morning, just reminding them to make sure, because it's connected to their DePaul email accounts. And that's very new for our students to transition because they may have been using a Gmail account or some other email account. And so it's connected to their DePaul email account. We've loaded them in along with some of our campus partners that are sponsoring events and programs throughout the Welcome Week experience. And so that'll be a great way for students, if they have any initial questions right away, to be able to reach our staff. Everyone that's in that group, their RDs are in that group. The RAs for their communities are also in their group. They already last night started sharing resources. We had our first movie night. They watched Into the Spider-Verse. Students can sign up for some of the events through Welcome Week. And we created those links and also funneled those into that Teams page. So there's a number of ways, whether it's the iDePaul app, jumping right into D-Hub, or connecting right into that Microsoft Teams page. And there, we've also created separate channels. So we have students currently in Belden Racine Halls. We have a couple of students in Ozanam Hall, or what we're calling Oz for short, as well as Monroe Hall. And so they have separate channels so that they can even further be able to chat and connect with each other within Microsoft Teams. We know that they're also making, some of the RAs have like their own floor group meetings and that kind of thing. And so, but Teams is going to be a great place to get the latest updates. And also through Welcome Week, we have some exclusive resident only events. And so we're going to be dropping information in there as well about how to get plugged into those resident only events, especially some of the campaigns that we're doing. We're going to be offering residents, offering some TikTok challenges. We know we have some TikTok experts. I know I mentioned that last night to them, so they were super excited. They'll be able to get the information about that, how to get involved. They may get a prize out of their hard work and great video skills. And a number of other things that can keep them busy during this time. And we're going to showcase their talents through our Instagram page as well as our Facebook page.
That's great. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing those. I love seeing student TikToks. Our SGA president, Giselle, went around campus and did a couple different ones. And I got to be the videographer, if you will, for the day. And I just downloaded TikTok because my sister wants to she keeps sending me TikTok videos. So I was like, I just need to get an account. But I have some, I definitely would consider myself to have amateur status in terms of filming TikTok videos. I'm not spectacular yet.
I'm still debating.
You're not alone,
I'm
Courtney.
still debating.
You're not alone.
I'm at now I'm at that bridge, right? Like, yeah. Do I, because I have all the gadgets and all the things, but I have not jumped on the TikTok bandwagon. Yeah. But they were trying to talk me into it last night. Oh, they're like, come on, Q, you got to. You got to do this, because folks are sending me videos too. And I'm like, do I need it? Yeah. Do I want to go down this path? I think I'm getting
another
really
thing
close.
You got to check. Right. Yeah.
Or at least have an account, Kiana. There's nothing wrong with that. Just to look and just tell your friends how great their videos are. That's how I'm using it currently, because it takes a lot of time to put in like really good video. I gotta say, I've had a few friends give feedback, but it's really exciting. It gets to show off your creative side.
Okay,
So
at least
really
there's
nice.
pressure. Okay, I can do that. And so because I have what's the other one with that folks make the videos but
Reels?
the reels. So reels is new, I know, to Instagram, but Snapchat. So
And Triller.
Right. So I don't do the Triller. I do Snapchat a little bit, and so as the quarantine experience and doing these videos gets us a little more comfortable with being in front of the camera, and the idea of delayed gratification, if you will, that I'm just talking. It seems like I'm talking to myself, but folks will eventually see this and then they will continue to interact and engage, so but I use Snapchat that way, to support and cheer on folks, because there's some skilled Snapchatters out there. And so I'm sure TikTok works the same way. So maybe I'll do that, Patricia. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah.
Well, and Patricia, I know, so we were just talking a little bit about RAs and some other opportunities on the res ed side. I know we've got FAs, and I mean, we've probably got 100 different acronyms here, but could you tell us a little bit about what the FA role is, and if there's any other opportunities for engagement for students through the housing side?
Well, in all honesty, I haven't had really much opportunity to work with, and I'm going to break it down for a few acronyms that all of you may or may not know. We have OAs and FAs. So we have, what are they? Operations assistants / office assistants and facilities assistants. And thank you, Kiana, for nodding. So I know I'm not crazy, but yeah.
And I can chime in too when we get to the FAs.
Oh, yes. So I've had the delight to meet maybe a grand total of 2 or 3. But in terms of engagement opportunities, at least on the housing side, it isn't as, I would say, pronounced. I would say on housing, what we try to do is more social media engagement more than anything else right now. And one campaign that we're carrying over all the way back in May, when things were sort of starting to calm down after the COVID-19 storm, Home Away from Home campaign. So basically the idea with that is for students to engage with us on Instagram very easily. They don't have to make a video. It's mainly answering questions and just getting to know folks. So with this campaign, basically when you engage, we'll have an Instagram story as an example. We'll ask, what's your favorite music? What is your favorite movie? Anything as simple as that. And then people can see other Blue Demons handles, possibly interact with one another, talk about their favorite book, perhaps. And basically we share that content in sort of our save stories on our Instagram page there. And then if you engage, you'll find out whether or not you won for a home care package. So we hope to carry this on through to fall quarter, especially for those of you living on campus right now. So that's our little way of engaging. But I know that with the FAs and OAs, my apologies, I only got to meet literally a handful of you, but if you see them around, definitely be kind, be friendly, because they are.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's a great point to remember, especially I think sometimes, you think about FAs, OAs, RAs, and you're like, oh, this is a staff member, but they're still students too, so it's a different avenue in that regard. Like, yes, it's their job, but they're, sophomores, juniors, seniors, just really working to make the experience the best they can for other students in the buildings as well too. So I think that's a great point. And, Patricia, I'm sure you are going to meet more in this upcoming quarter and hundreds more. That kind of comes with the territory of only being here for that 6-month time so far. But yeah, we're coming up to the conclusion of our time here today. So for our viewers, if you have any last minute questions or things you're curious about, feel free to post them in the comments and we can ask Kiana and Patricia. But as we round things out here, I'm curious if you might share a piece of advice for students as they're starting their time here at DePaul. Something that either resonated a lot with you when you went to school, or just something they should be thinking about.
Good question.
That is a very good question. Well, I'll start out with this, and it's a very responsible one, I would say. But as a student, obviously, you're not rolling in money or anything like that. But remember to save. So we have something called Edge. I don't know if any of you are in the Edge program. It's mainly for freshmen, though. But they have a portion where they teach students about financial fitness. And I would say just start saving your pennies, put them in piggy bank, regular bank, whatever you have, just do that and find ways, because Chicago is so vibrant, so many opportunities for just free activities. I mean, just going to the Lincoln Park Zoo, if you happen to be on the Lincoln Park Zoo after quarantine, go over there. Right now, they're doing sort of more of the socially distant, more aware of the numbers within the zoo. So you have to go on Eventbrite to book your hour to spend over there. And they're making sure everybody is spread out, which was a very nice experience. Also look up free days at any of the museums. If you happen to be in the Loop, there's the Art Institute there. Again, I don't know what their hours look like, but I know
though, Patricia, you're talking about a lot of other things too. In our Connecting to Chicago series, we're going to have somebody from the Art Institute and hopefully the zoo. We're trying to confirm that one right now. So there'll be people next Tuesday's the Art Institute, and then we'll have the zoo after that too. So they'll be able to hear more details about those during those sessions.
Courtney, can I jump in there?
I know, right?
Would love to watch.
Yeah.
I would say, because that made me thinking about with the Art Institute, the demon discounts, and so don't forget about those. And what, as a DePaul membership has its privileges, and so how we have access to the Art Institute by our DePaul affiliation. And so I would definitely recommend making sure you hop on the website and check out the demon discount page, and so see what you can get access to. A lot of cool places around the Lincoln Park area. And so that'll be a great resource. One of the things that I would say, each year, set yourself up to make a DePaul bucket list, and so of things that you want to accomplish every year, creating some SMART goals around it, so that way, when you get to your senior year, you can look back and look at all of the cool experiences that you got to take advantage of. Because what I will share with you is that this time is precious, and you want to fill it with all of the cool things that you have at your disposal right now. Use this time to be selfish, where you're taking advantage of everything presented to you. Sometimes you got to jump in on the deep end. And so this is the time to be able to do that. Attending an event you might not otherwise attend that's being offered, sitting in on a lecture, trying something different, especially when you have a meal plan. And so Chartwell's offers a number of different varieties of options, once we get out of. Right now, everything's kind of crafted and catered for our early arrivals. But, with this Boost mobile app feature, which is completely new, there's going to be a number of different menu offerings each day. Try a new dish, or a new meal, or attending a different type of event, that may not necessarily be in your wheelhouse, because DePaul offers a lot of free things, and bringing people to campus, and for you to be able to have access to that you might not have otherwise had access to. It would be what I recommend. And so there's a lot of cool traditions and new traditions being offered at DePaul, and we'll see the evolution of some of those in our new world, but they'll still be offered to you. And so, plug in and definitely take advantage of some of those things is what would be my tip, my recommendation. I can look back and think about things that I did a lot of stuff in undergrad. I went to Indiana University, and so they offered a lot of cool things. So I was really glad that, looking back, that I had those moments and I didn't lean on my side of fear. And I was like, let's just do it. When am I going to have this opportunity again to maybe see a Broadway show or, go, especially in Chicago, because we have Broadway in Chicago. And, once we're able to get back into theaters or virtually some of the offerings that are happening, like, when am I going to have time to do that again? Like, let's do that now. Or taking a service trip, or studying abroad, We'll still be here for you to move back on campus, but you can go away for a little while and then come back, and so taking advantage of that stuff is so cool, so add that into your experience.
Yeah, those are all of that is really great advice. I mean, I think that there are just opportunities and experiences that students get to take place in Chicago, even during a pandemic, that are just unique and different that they wouldn't get elsewhere. I would also, as an aside, speaking of those demon discounts, my favorite demon, or like one of my favorite demon discounts, I have a lot of them. The Dog House has a $6 Chicago dog and fries. And it's literally just right up Fullerton. Like it's across from the music school. You just walk in, you show them your ID, and it's like, it's Chicago dog, fries and a drink for $6. It's a spectacular deal. So you can check out if you just Google demon discounts at DePaul, you can find that full listing. But Patricia, Kiana, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. So for everybody watching, our next session is actually going to be this afternoon. It'll be at 4 p.m. with the Office of Student Involvement, which is the office that I work in. So again, we'll be streaming live on Student Involvement and ResEd's Facebook pages. So be sure to check us out for that one. In the interim, though, too, we've got over 165 events planned throughout Welcome Week, which officially kicked off yesterday. So this series is just one part of it. If you want to see the full listing, you can go to welcomeweek.depaul.edu, and all of the events that are listed, that are being offered, are listed there, including those unique offerings that Kiana was talking about that are exclusively available to ResEd students, along with everything else that's going to be available. I know we've got some even dance parties, like socially distant dance parties coming up, paint by numbers classes. We're doing a ghost story, all sorts of different things. And that full listing is available right at that website. So the last thing that I'd note with, right after we end here, I'm going to put a QR code back up on the screen. And I'd really encourage you to scan it. You're going to be entered in for a chance, if you haven't seen it yet, to win one of these. So one of our most popular promo items that we've done in student involvement is the MAP water bottle, which you'll see people around campus. It's one of the ones that people actually hold around. But and it's hard to see here, but this water bottle will have a full map of campus on it. So you'll be able to see, like if you're trying to figure out where a building is or anything else, you can just, take a look at your water bottle and see how to get from, McGowan to the Welcome Center, or the townhomes to the theater school, all that different things. So it is both practical and it's just a really high quality water bottle. So feel free, or we encourage you to scan that QR code right after this. We're going to be doing the drawing for them on September 11th. So you can scan the code for every single session because we're doing with 28 of these Get to Know DePaul sessions. So thanks everybody for joining us today. We will see you back at 4 o'clock as we talk with student involvement. So again, Patricia, Kiana, take care. I'll talk to y'all later.
Thank you.
Thank you.